see. Homewrecker, that's fine for this point. Yep, getting the gun sap off is pretty nice right around here. You don't need to be roaming around too much.
Yeah, I like it on first, and I like it on second, personally. I like it on this map in general. Kind of.
Yeah, gun's pretty important for this one, just making sure it doesn't get sapped. Let's see, their spy crosses over hill. If you're on detonator, you can normally be detonating this entire time. Here, 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 and then it's much harder and longer for the spy to cross. It also prevents that from happening to your heavy. Although, again, if he's playing closer to combo, it's usually a lot harder for him to die. At the end of the day, it just kind of does revolve on him turning around there, and just having some basic awareness of it. Spy is probably called behind Zap's gun here. You power jacket. Yep, it's fine. This whole area is basically just spy central around here. Yep. Looking forward trying to reflect spam. There isn't really any spam there, so there isn't too much for you to do. Maybe probably peek the right side and reflect the pipes going there, though, especially if it's not Iron Bomber, since you have the extra fuse time. Team's playing around here. I definitely feel like you could spend more time just like spy checking the entryways, either with flamethrower like around these little areas, or with detonator. It's really good as well because you don't have to actively peek in and you can really control spy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if you're not actively spy checking or denying spam, you should probably be rotator like focused around here, so your engineer is probably looking around here. You can trust your team players to be facing more forwards. It normally is on you as Pyro there to keep the back line and the window under control there more so. Pulling forward with your gun. Sniper dies. Okay. Spy kills your heavy side hull. You do a... I would say it's another really good point for the detonator. You can just be hitting like in all these little areas without having to peek at all. Whereas you're not actively having to use shotgun as much here. Their soldier gets in behind, their spy gets another pick. You just need to be spy checking the entryways more, yeah, like just spend more time when you're not actively being pushed.
Yeah.
Hitting around these three angles especially.
I think I ended up swapping a detonator like next game or whatever. Like not this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to run detonator, but it's just like in general it is good practice to just be spy checking around those little spots there, like of common transit. Like for here, this is a very common spy spot, just right around there. You light them on fire. Your medic gets this all calculated. Okay, they're pushing forward here. Your entire team kind of turned around there, and you get backed up. You die. Your team gets out, though. That's fine. Your team just didn't really have presence and got a bit too distracted. Your medic was just spawning, and team was just spawning as well. Yeah, you don't end up losing all of your team for that, so it isn't the worst, but it does kind of suck to give up third, but that also isn't something you can entirely do as Pyro unless you play super forward and air blast this along here. If the call is being made to contest it, I'd say just hold close forward here, just air blast them downwards, keep them off the cart, allow your heavy to work on them. You did kind of have to turn a bit for spy though, so not really entirely on you there. The use... I would definitely be air blasting sooner here, less time just slowing down M1 at the shiny players. When they come in, you really want to just contest them around this little area and shove them back off the high ground and prevent them from crossing into your team. Even if you die there, it's like your team can be watching for spy, like your unubered players can be, but you as Pyro are the only one who can really like effectively physically deny that uber there besides your demo if he gets good stickies on them that launch him upwards. I would just...
I think it's because I was looking behind and it was the Uber was called right when I peeked it, so it was like, I was just a little flustered. I didn't expect that to be happening or whatever.
I see. Peeking this is fine. It does look like it's a little out of sync, though not quite on time with when your heavy and demo are peeking it, so you end up just getting a little bit spaced out. Enemy team could have maybe pressured more for it, but your heavy demo kind of buffered, so it's fine. It's just the timing's a bit off, yeah.
I don't know where exactly I should be, like, standing a lot, so I just keep, like, walking back and forth because I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You should just run your medic demo here, you're kind of just shadowing them, especially when you don't have detonator, like, you don't really want to be rotating or roaming too far away. They get called around here, so you're playing up top, air blasting them down. Yeah, it's fine, you just keep them from crossing up through there. the call should be made to like just rotate things top right and contest from there. Your medic and you are just sort of not doing much around here. You go into them. Usually what you'd see is just like your heavy demo, like players collapse some high ground, basically secure the flank, and then just like swing around, collapse on them. I think you chase a little bit too far at that point. It's like your team isn't really in a position to support you and you just get spammed out. Sniped rather. Yeah, just a bit too of an aggressive peek there, I'd say. You want to back off sooner in that post fight there, even if you're gaining space, your team isn't really in the position to support that. You just gotta look like what players are up and also just like be aware of what your team's calling, maybe take a quick look back every so often.
It felt stupid when I did it. I was like...
That is fair. Here you're playing forward flank, make sure you blast them off. At this point you probably have to peek with your team. I think you're chasing a little bit too far for spy there. You really just want to support your team and make sure that heavy gets cleared off. You can air blast them into more of a spam angle or just tank damage and flame them down. I think you're just roaming around a little bit too much. It's like you have too much downtime, not enough of a goal in mind. Here they get used, you go forward into them to meet them and contest, that's good. This Uber gets stuffed, you kind of get baited by your medic though, so you end up dying. Normally your medic would be like airing you or like keeping the beam on you, seeing as they're only shooting you and you're keeping them denied there. Good that you went forward to try and deny them, that made sure their Uber basically got nothing done. Very good to be proactive when they come in from flank, like around here, so you can detonate up here, stuff their entire Uber. Same with the far right side, same with right of rim. Not really so much with main or big door, but it is good to just make sure they can't get up around like one of these two sets, yeah. It's like, yeah, you're just generally shadowing your medic and demo, making sure they don't get stabbed. You trust your flank to be checking out for your flank. You can occasionally detonate the doorways and like harass their spy. But for the most part, it's just like you're playing to support your medic demo there, especially. You can be watching for a sniper bit as well, and you're just kind of spy checking around them, peeking where they're peeking. And basically just supporting them, yeah, making sure they don't take inefficient damage trades if they want to peek aggressively anywhere. Here they're all called flanks, so you go forward. I think that's a bit of a miscall though, you don't really just want to send a demo pyro into them there. Ideally I'd be your heavy with you as well, or you wouldn't be peeking that aggressively into you. You try and support your demo man there, so that's fine, but it's just like, you're not going to get much done there. That's around average for Vigil, a little bit above, like, so that's good. Yeah, just too much time like idly rotating around, I'd say. It's just, if you are rotating, make sure you're actively going over to there to spy check instead of just like walking around and then walking back.
I just did not, I was just like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be going right now. At all. Yeah.
Just like play around to your, deny that your Uber comes in from here. If they're called flank, rotate flanks it around to your right or right over there, and just, especially down here, then just be prepared to deny their Uber so they can't walk into you, help your demo man support them. That's basically your entire goal for last stuff Ubers and reflect for your demo man. Prevent spy from getting them. The rest of it kind of on your team mostly, yeah. But like, yeah. These are the main spy spots you have to worry about. Here in the newer version, this back area, this area you could expect spies and then just on flank generally. But usually what you'll see is just like a close decloak or like a decloak up here trying to go for the gun. Basically just for your demoman, sniper, engineer, or soldier/heavy if they're playing forward on the flank. You don't need to worry about too much else for spies since it's like it's so easy for them to bump them and your team should be able to see them pretty easily if they're looking around. But yeah, definitely if you're rotating flank, just spend more time spy checking there or like make sure you're going over there to support them.
It always feels weird because like sometimes we'll be like getting wrecked by spy and flank or whatever on that point, and then and I'm just like far away, and I just don't know if I should be like going over there.
No, you shouldn't, because it's like if you go away from your combo and you take an Uber exchange in, like if the enemy team takes an Uber exchange, it goes awfully for you. The best thing you can do there is just detonate that entire region with Pyro. You can do that super easily. And then it's just like it makes it much harder for their spy, but really what it comes down to is your soldier and heavy having better positioning. Your heavy can be playing like on the crates. I can't really get a good visual of it here, but just like playing in spots where they're not going to get stabbed, or just like making sure they have basic awareness and turn around a bit on their own. It's not really something you can do that carefreely as Pyro. It's like it's going to come at a cost if you rotate away from your combo. That opens them up to being stabbed or Ubered on or bombed, so on and so forth. You just play close to your medic demo there. Your flank either deals with it themselves or you help them with detonator. Your heavy's on the flank, and it's mostly your heavy's job to take care of spy there. It's just not really on you. But your team does kind of need to be reviewing and solving that there. I will say at this point your team already has the flank So it's like, you're not really gonna get much done by just walking on the flank as the pyro. I think you want to be playing cart and either be air blasting and helping it get up, or like just be playing around your sniper, making sure he doesn't die. Another thing, go to your medic on these rotations, like as your medic's coming out of first. You are not getting anything done as pyro by just walking forward by yourself, and the biggest threat to any push at that point is a spy coming out and just stabbing them. That's a big thing for payloads in general.
That one was a little bit weird because like they called that they were gonna escort him or whatever, so I just like stayed, hoping that they would actually escort him, but they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you're not really doing much until you have your medic with you in general. So it's like it's usually just good to make sure your medic doesn't die, because you can spy check and make sure their spy can't cross through that entire area. Whereas somebody like Scout, like or whatever class, they can be shooting around there. Sure, they could call that they're gonna escort, but they can't be shooting every spot at once. Compared to the pyro, you have lingering flames, and you're able to project a zone of control where the spy can't cross into, or where you know for sure the spy's not going to be. Whereas with the Scout, like especially if they aren't really that aware of like the spy spots and whatnot, like it's just more risk for your medic. Yeah. Here you're trying to support your sniper combo on hill. That's fine. Let them waiting for the Uber exchange probably. Let's see. Spy's inside. Oh, you're going for ammo here, that's fine. Spy checking the entryways, yep. Trying to detonate their demo a little bit. You see a lot of stickies going in, so you could probably switch to your flamethrower and stick on it for a bit. Your team is just spending so much time waiting around here. I guess you don't have Uber, but like you could be doing something like a sack and all that time when you don't have Uber and you're waiting around. You're going forward for an exchange here. They pop a banner, you peek the corner, you get air blasts on them. You're trying to get through here. Alright, I will say probably like once you get them all backed out there, probably like back up a bit and let your demo man just take that Uber. And I love walking in as Pyre, but like realistically speaking, they have the battalions back up there. They have the sentry gun. You are not going to get the sentry gun dead as the Pyre there. It really needs to get like sapped during the Uber exchange for it to go down. But it's just like definitely like back up, probably hold around here and just let your demo man take on the beam, and you can just mostly get the same stuff done anyways at that point. So it's just like, I'd say one like, I don't know, you didn't really coordinate it properly with your spy, whatever, that happens. But secondly, yeah, I'd definitely say just back out on that Uber sooner there. Just like paying attention to what's happening, yeah. If they have Uber, your main goal there is to just get spaces apart. You're not really holding down to M1 as much, you're just air blasting them back, but if they have a sentry gun up, you can't really space them past that point. The gun is just gonna hard deny you, so it's like, at that point you just gotta relegate it to your demo man. Traps around there, you just gotta be checking that. Your medic has to be crossing sooner if you're gonna be peeking that. Technically speaking, you could be playing slower, like peeking this slow with your medic, but your demo and be kind of getting baited in that case, so there's just like, your team kind of put you into an awkward spot, your demo man's forward, you gotta play forward with him and make sure he doesn't just get demo spammed, or else your team's just gonna get rolled on that fight anyways. The spy uses that spot a lot, take note of that.
So I should be playing forward and like...
Your demo man needs support there.
Okay.
And it's just like your medic either should like be peeking that with you sooner, so your medic isn't just getting like trapped out. Like it's like if nobody's playing with your demo man, there your demo man's dying, right? And if your demo man dies, you lose that push. You just get trapped and spammed off around here anyways. Your team just has to cross to that sooner. I'd say you're mostly doing the right thing as Pyre by trying to cross that. It's just your medic needed to have followed you there if you were committing to that fight. Okay. It's partially on your demo man and whoever's calling it for like just coming to that when your medic was in a position to follow, or like when you didn't have Uber or anything, if that was the case. But the main thing is that it's just like a sloppy execution. Yeah, like your team isn't really committing to it together, you have a delay. And that puts you in a really awkward spot as Pyre, where you either let your demo man die and then you probably die to their demo man anyways, because you don't have a demo man to prevent them from walking into you, or you just, like, your medic dies there, as you saw, yeah.
I missed air blasted there, but it didn't really matter.
Yeah, no, they're low HP anyways. I will say if they're trying to continually commit to that, the best thing you can do, like, as long as the people are able to shoot main, like if they actively have people peeking around this, is just like play right here and just shove them further away from cart so you can get the cap, so they have to back out and you can get spawners. Definitely. There's just like your team's trying to take that peek a little late. You don't really have the like your team doesn't really have the call there though, or like the intelligence, like not like in a diminutive way. It's just like they don't have the proper like positioning to spot that like that's a bad play there, or like they don't have the experience for it. Yeah, so it's like you just get caught a little bit. You're just trying to support your team there. That's fine. It's just really like your team needs to have a better like sense of knowledge that okay, we're getting spaced out here. Like we can't peek this anymore. If they made the call, it is a little bit on you at that point for peeking it. Then you're trying to chase your medic here, detonate them. You see snipers with them. That's fine. Their spy is an Overwatch player. Does he die? Nope.
No.
I think
it was kind of sad.
I think detonating their sniper medic there is fine. Just making sure that their medic, I don't know, like if their medic's low, they die. But the main goal there is detonating their snipers, so their sniper can't really be peeking card in case any of your other players go forward. And again, in the off chance they're kind of injured. But the main thing is just so they can't peek. Yeah. So that's honestly fine there. Your team is on cart though. Once you backed off there, it's like, yeah, probably just be watching for Spy. Spy might be trying to sack for your medic or card or whoever else is around here. I think it's just like at that point you might as well turn around since you're not doing anything by looking forward and you're going to move fast if you're facing the direction you're moving anyways, yeah. So it's just like, in that downtime, I would say just be spy checking there, no reason not to, and it is one of the times where the spy will be going in, if anything, at that point of the game. Here you're trying to support your flank, you get in deep, that's fine. They're heavy super close there, stand your flamethrower there and either flame them down or air blast them away while you back out so you don't die. You're not really getting anything done by dying them at that point. You don't have Demo Man with you here, so this isn't really a good idea. If you did want this to work, what you need to do is just take this beam here as Pyro, take the Uber, walk into them, air blast them further away, and just try and W1 them down or get them to force, and just generally make sure your heavy doesn't get air blasted back up. The main risk with taking any Uber exchange into hard flank is that you just get denied by their Pyro. If their Pyro is mouse 2-bound, their Pyro mouse 2-bound, you had demo them down anyways, so you're not getting them forced. Usually what you do is get your flank in here, get players on the flank, like your soldier heavy, have them either force them or get picks, or just pass, like, hold flank, and then go in, like, during the time of the post-fighter Uber exchange, and your team goes in through main, like, demo Pyro, your heavy goes in either flank. Yeah, I'd say flank there. Spy can be sapping it. It's just, like, you're down players there already, though. It's close to the ending point, so you're not really going to get much done anyways at that point, but that Uber exchange doesn't work, because it's like, yeah, just really easy to get denied by Pyro there, especially when you're down demo. I think there's just like a lot of downtimes definitely where you could be like spy checking more, just watching for spy flaming around when you don't have anything else to be doing.
Yeah, there's points where I'm like, have detonator. I'm like Sarah doing nothing, and then I realize that goddamn, I should have been detonating this like whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck.
That's alright.
Sometimes I just realize it and I'm like, oh my god, I haven't been spy checking for like a minute or something.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not good.
It's like there's literally like never a bad time to use detonator if you're not actively using your primary that much or you're going in a lot during Uber exchanges. Yeah. Detonator is like really good because it's like you don't need to be moving around or baiting your team at all. You could just be staying at one spot and pinging everywhere. Like if you start out here, you can hit the flank from here, you can hit the flank from here, you can peek a little bit, hit around your heavy here, hit here, prevent heavy from killing your heavy.
I didn't even consider standing there where you were just pointing at.
It's a bit risky, but like if you do it early on, it's like you're probably not getting sniped. It's just like one of those things where you can do it like very early on to deny the rollout, yeah, of the enemy spy, or like catch him out. And just, the main thing is like you're usually not catching him, you're just knowing, like you're able to communicate to your team, or at least know for yourself that he's not crossing a certain spot. It just opens up a lot of opportunities. This is a very common spy spot, so you drop down, check around this, that's fine. Well, say usually, like, your team would just, like, full commit to this right side with you there, though it's like, you peek this, deny their soldier. Yeah, so your team could just walk up this, but you get spy there, that's fine. It was just a little odd to see your team go flank house and then drop down around here. You had something to say?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like past, but like when I'm initially, when I'm clearing the house, I just don't know where I should be standing, like specifically. When we're,
I mean, just like, forward on the stairs here, and then it's like you drop down, you peek right side, and you just push this with your flank. If you just want to clear flank out though, then it's fine to just like drop down around here, check spy, check the back line. Like it's generally good practice to do this anyways, and then push with them. But it's just like you walk around here, you flame like around here, this little area, you flame this. Occasionally you'll see spies try and go for a jump stab. Not really though, and your main goal is just to like reflect soldier if they're playing here, force them to back out, and then you just like flame around like this corner, this corner, right here.
I just feel like a lot of times we're just sitting house, and I'm just like not really doing anything, but maybe it's like not really my time to do anything, I guess.
Yeah, you can't really do anything just by yourself there, like besides just spot for spy, deny spy. Okay, you caught spy around there, so that's good. Your combo's playing tunnel here. Probably rotating hill now? Okay, yeah, no sniper. Lingering a little around a little bit too much there. Their spire's already dead. Definitely just like commit more to hill, follow your demo man when it's called there. Here you go on this, you air blast them away. Your spy isn't in position to sap the gun.
Yeah, the gun kind of wrecked me there, basically.
Yeah, you really aren't doing anything as Pyro when that gun's up there. I'd say you're doing the right thing by trying to go in and support her, especially given the context of who's up there. Probably detonate at this point, see if you can kill the spy. I think you're chasing a little bit.
Yeah, I really wanted him because
if you detonated right around here, it would have insta-killed him basically. Like,
yeah.
You don't have to follow them into there. I'd say like just detonate sooner when you start out of range, or something even better you can do is just detonate over him and get into his path. Like you can use detonator for mobility there and then just land behind him and kill him.
Yeah, I'm just like not confident enough with any of my detonator shots, so I was like, let me just run on him.
If you're not confident with your detonator shots, literally just jump over. You have heals there, so you're not worried about dying, and then just flame them.
Yeah, that's true.
You're playing forward to deny this, that's good. Try and reflect their soldier demo here, yep.
That soldier popped up and I just lost him. I just this is where he went. It's like kind of a funny thing.
Zam. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like you just need to be a bit more confident in general, like with whatever your decision making is, just commit to things more. It's like you're kind of having bits of hesitation where you're just not doing anything there, and that's like those little like tiny second things, like just rotating over or like lingering on a rotation, just kind of add up over a while. I think you stop chasing their demo when he starts going into tunnel, just leave your flank to clear him out. You do kind of do that, again, a little too long for my tastes, like, but ends up working out anyways. You kind of chase their team, you walk forward, they didn't have Uber or positioning, so that's good. It's fine to chase with Pyro there and go in. Yeah. It's like, optimally, like, you kind of need to be in close proximity unless you're specifically, like, detonating. It's just like, you gotta commit to things more, you gotta play closer to people, and just be going more forward, be more sort of there. Also, like, especially during something like Uber Exchange or like rotations, you're gonna find yourself with a lot of little inefficiencies, or like situations where it's like you easily could have accomplished something, got a kill, got space, got protected your medic or team.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of points where I just feel like I'm a little too far back to do anything. Like I see opportunities and I'm like, damn, if I was just a little further forward or whatever. But also it's like every time I look back, every time I step forward and look forward is immediately when the medic gets backstabbed every single time. And it's like,
alright, so what you do there
it's so tough.
What you do there is you either have your team have basic spy awareness, or what you do, right? Carry out. If what you say is true, you turn around for a little bit. You're like, okay, Spider's gonna go in and out, and then you just turn around and you kill that guy because he's like, oh, Pyro's looking away.
Yeah.
You gotta play the mental game, Chief. You gotta bait him in. Become the fisherman. But that's definitely fair, but it's like, I don't know, you can usually be spy checking while you're playing forward anyways. Like, for instance, on hill, it's like, normally you're heavy, you'd be sitting around here protecting your sniper or something, like, if they're not going side tunnel. And it's really important for your Pyro to be forward to support your combo, especially if you're going to be going in on exchanges, playing forward like you are most of the time on second there.
Yeah, this is where I felt like I had nothing, and then I just had to like back out.
I wouldn't say so. It's like you stub them for a bit, but definitely you need other things going on that there. Like your demo mid needs to be playing with that. You need to be getting a sap. It's just like the Pyro can't be your only play during that over there. Like you need to be like working with your team to be accomplishing something with that space as Pyro. I will say though, I think it's usually generally better to have Heavy go around this corner because he just shreds and forces everybody to get flashed anyways, and it's kind of hard to dislodge him from here. And I think you as Pyro, like that is a case where you can just be playing like to deny spy, or to just like support flank, or just to really get card up, I'd say. Yeah, like play closer to card there, don't necessarily like go in during the exchange. You can peek the corner like you saw on the other demo, but like you shouldn't be using Uber on the Pyro for that, I don't think, usually.
Yeah, that I was sitting there for like a long time just air blasting them, and then none of them were dying, and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, like, you're not the person getting kills there, you're just denying them from being able to effectively clear your team off for aggressing into you. Like, definitely just don't get an Uber on you there, I'd say. But second can be pretty good. I have no comment. Increase your FOV.
Yeah, it might have bad FOV, legit. I don't. That setting you might have. I don't know if I've ever changed that.
Do that.
Yeah.
Give yourself FOV. I think here again, it's like you maybe picking more with your team is just getting rolled by Demo Man spam there. Like, it's really important for you as the player, like, especially if your team's just sitting around here not going in for the Uber, or like, for an Uber, well, you even have Uber there, but like, if your team's just getting hit around here, like, even if you have Uber, you're gonna force, like, you need your pyro playing forward and just right-clicking this. Your flank can be, like, generally, like, playing around, watching the backline. Your medic could be spy checking for themselves, but if you do not have your pyro watching this, right-clicking their demo and spam back into them, your team is eating all of the damage there.
Yeah.
Incredibly important, since all their demo has to do is just, he doesn't really take damage here, he has a pyro with him, he has a mech with him, he just shoots over this wall, takes like 0 damage, and does like 300 damage to anybody who's playing around here. You just need to be committing to that as a pyro, you can't be like lingering behind there, because it's like if you're not, you're baiting your team way more than if you weren't spy checking for a little bit there, or like looking behind more specifically. I'd say like, I don't know, spy check around here for a little bit, like, have the flames linger a little bit, be moving backwards, but like, just when your demo and heavy are like crossing to this point, like when your demo is peeking this, just have the flames linger, go forward. You can even have your medic be watching behind you, and just make sure their demo man is getting reflected when he's peeking this. If you really need to, you can play like right on top of here and air blast them further away for people to get spam onto them. But like, just don't be letting your demo man die to their demo man here, or like take that much damage, yeah. Or else your entire push is stalled on flank. That is like the biggest prerequisite for a good combo flank push there. Detonator gaming. Boom, boom. No need to walk over there. Spike its NG. You know, I think your engineer's kind of asking for it standing in that doorway. But it is a little bit unfortunate. It's like you have so many angles to watch for spy, like, I don't know, you're trying your best to spy check there, it happens sometimes. It's unfortunate. Yeah. But definitely
at least a dome wrecker there.
Yeah, definitely though, just do be spy checking more doorways, like when there's spies up, like, especially like in the earlier parts of the round, you look forward, like soldiers called behind you, deal with them, that's good, you're... Okay. I think that's just a little bit of your team being greedy, especially if you're turning behind to deal with their soldier for a little bit. But yeah, definitely it's like, especially if you're using detonator, like, you don't have to worry about, like, during the earlier parts of the round, it's much more important to, like, deny the entryways, like, rather than to just be focusing on, like, one low area for spy checking. Like, you just want to make sure it takes longer for their spy to rotate, so it's harder for them to, like, coordinate or get their spy in, and then once you can say to yourself, okay, their spy's probably in at this point, like, that's probably when you spend more time, like, spy checking here, watching here, watching here. Like, these are the 4 spots you need to worry about: here, 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 and here. This one is usually a decently big favorite of spies, but like, yeah, you just really need to be spy checking for those 4 spots. But then before that point, it's like you could be watching more towards the entryways, like here-ish, here, there. It's like, you just need to kind of like compartmentalize your timing, be like, okay, ask yourself, like, okay, it's the start of the round, their spies rolling out here, where are they going to roll out from? What I know of this player, what have they done in previous rounds? They're not here, they're at another spot. And then, like, you kind of just want to do their timings. Like, if you want to, you can even just like go into an empty server, just like learn the timings from yourself, like do a stopwatch and learn how long it takes for the spy to cross. And then like once around that time that threshold is reached, is when you would call like, oh hey, spy timer, you say to yourself, okay, I need a spy check, like the entryway's more, I need to like peek a little more forward to spy check, like
that might
in the
actually be a
houses.
good idea to learn actually learn the timing, because that's what I've been just trying to guess them, basically.
And the thing, if you guess, like, there's not as much consistency. Guessing is fine on an individual level, like, from what you know of an individual spy player, you're chasing way too far here, your team isn't forward enough to support you, they need to be peeking around here. If you're going past this line, don't chase if your team's not peeking this, you need to be, like, looking around before you regrets and see what your team is doing. And then just, like, walk more when you start seeing your team walk, otherwise you're just kind of baiting your team. Like, feeding in, rather. But yeah, it's important to have a baseline sense of consistency that you can use against every spy before you get to the point where you can learn, like, know about an individual spy's timings and preferences and patterns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you need something to guess off of, but also, and that's usually like against individual spies. But then you also just need a baseline that you can communicate to your team before you can learn, like, before you know more about a spy player. You do deny their spy there, so that's fine, but it's just like a lot of the time their spy is just getting past entryways, and you should be having a lot more difficulty, like, getting into a position where you'd have to be spy checking directly around you, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's much more valuable for you as the player to be preventing him from crossing in as all for as much time as possible. Detonator really helps for that if you're using that, if not in general, though. It's like, just be flaming around, like, don't be, like, aiming towards, like, cover walls as much, like, teammates can spy check specific spots as Pyro, you're really good at just denying entire, like, zones of traffic, though. It's just like, if you can do that, it really helps your team narrow it down, and it also puts a lot less pressure on you, because you can be like, okay, their spy is either taking a lot more time to cross here, or, hey, I haven't hit their spy, maybe he's in a position, like, where he's actually able to stab people. Just be, like, spy checking more around where you're playing actively as well, yeah. I'm assuming you call that.
Yeah, I was like spy behind, and then I was like I was about to say engineer, but they already got backstabbed.
Yeah. Rather than saying spy behind, just shorten the call to spy and NG there.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, that's like fewer words to formulate, easier sentence, like, you just kind of want to use, like, buzz terms like that, like, rather than just spy behind, like, spy on gives the same general indication. In fact, it might make it so that players don't get trick stepped by just wildly spinning around, like, to the rear. But it's just like, you want to have like a condensed information, basically. Like, if you just say spy behind, it could mean on your medic, on your sniper, on your flank. You want to say who it's on in specific, never just spy on you or spy on whatever. Like, on, like, in general, you just gotta say spy on NG, spy medic, spy time, so on and so forth, stuff like that. So it's like, specific people know to turn around. It's like, they'll usually be able to kill spy for you if you can give them the call on, like, who it's on one, or at the very least, like, they won't die to spy as much. You deny die over there, that's fine, your team just kind of dies, though. But yeah, I definitely feel like you just need to, like, practice a bit with your spy timings, and just get more of a sense of consistency for it. Knowing kind of how spies cross when, the timings of it, will help you a lot when it comes to spy checking.
Should I just, like, literally just, like, go into just a map, just like on Vigil, and just like walk around as spy or something? Is that...
Yes, and just use the stopwatch to see how much time it takes from spawn, like, so on and so forth. And then just, like, if you really want to, you can put in extra effort and see, like, where spies, like, usually roll out from in your demos, or, like, a specific player if you know you'll be playing against them, so on and so forth. But just having a baseline idea of how long it takes to cross on a map is going to be really helpful for you. It's something that you kind of accrue through time, like with game sense already. It could really help.
I kind of like that. I think I'll do that. I'll just, like, walk around. I'll just walk around.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, a lot of Pyro, and just, like, the mental game in general, is, like, just compartmentalizing things and being able to learn as much as you can before having to play as possible. Again, you really don't even need to go out of your way, like, demo review, like, other people's demos or anything like that. It's just, like, kind of learn in the moment, like, get used to where people are coming from. Like, let's say, again, on first their spy kept going in from the rock. Again, your team isn't really calling that there. You're not really seeing that, but just, like, kind of take note of that. But then if you do actively see spies decloak and come in from places, like, just take note of that, expect them to be, like, going for that, or just, like, realize where they're going to be going in for what pick, or like what the best pick is going to be, right? Just like kind of try and get into the mind of the spy. But absolutely the best thing by far you can do is ease the mental burden of yourself in game by having more of a sense of how things will be like going into things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it'll make your job a whole lot easier. Find less cases where it's like you just don't know what you're doing, like you'll have less downtime. Yeah, you'll have more of a goal.
Yeah. There's like, oh well, yeah. That's one thing too. It's like I don't know the timings and shit. So it's like, basically I'm always in the mode where it's like they're not rotating, they're on us basically. You know, where it's like. I feel like I always have to just expect them to be like, right, like in position to stab.
Right, and it's like if you in the downtime, like you can do a lot. You can do a lot to like make it harder for them to get into that position, and then it's you can learn. Okay, they're probably in position at this point, like, and then you just got to figure out like what they're gonna be going for and where from. Yeah, like on first there, they usually either go for your demo man, your medic, your sniper, or your sentry gun. Usually the most common for first by far though is like a sentry gun stab. So how are they going to get that right? Either walking in the little window of hill, or just going right on the stairs if the engineer's near there, or through crates. You just gotta realize like how the enemy team is playing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just a lot of it comes with time. It's not something I can just like tell you, especially with like difference in divs. Not really familiar with the teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, yeah. Didn't really look like you're using your shotgun that much there. Even like I would definitely just recommend detonator because it helps so much with that.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Maybe I should just go.
Yeah,
I should just go fucking detonator.
It is just like incomprehensibly valuable as a tool.
Like yeah I don't really. I just use when I have shotgun, I just basically just go in with the flamethrower, basically only. Anyways,
no, it's like if you're going in with flamethrower a lot, like it is really good to have detonator because what you can do is you can just like be jumping over like crazy, or you can be like pinging people and just like doing things as you're kind of aggressing towards them when you're not really in a good range for flamethrower. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, what's nice is you can kind of like what's nice about the detonator is you have like reach and like AOE. As well, which is nice. Like you can detonator like 2 people from like far away, whereas a shotgun you're like pinging someone for like 3 damage.
Right, and it's like especially for something like spy checking, like what makes Pyro unique is its ability to have AOE on demand, like that with like generally just AOE spy checking. This is an older version of Vigil, but whatever. I'm just gonna show some fun detonator stuff. That is a lot more effective than just walking at them like this. It gives you a lot more momentum, your flames reach farther. You're able to just really outposition people, and it's like, especially if you're playing a bit more aggressive, like you're gonna find it a lot more convenient than just like specifically trying to switch to your shotgun while you're trying to flame everybody down there.
And especially from Uber, like it's kind of free.
Yeah, it is so free if you're Ubered, and it also gives you a lot of momentum if you want to like air blast battle, which is something you're doing a lot during the Ubers. And I think like incorporating detonator there would be really effective, especially if it's during Ubers and you're not going to get much done with a shotgun, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just if you really want to think about your secondary usage like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think another thing is I just need to practice hitting detonator shots, just like in pubs or whatever, because like that's also something I'm just not confident in. Even with or like go flare gun too, man. Just like. And
something that really helps a lot is just knowing when you're gonna detonate it. Like I don't know, like. Yeah, it does take practice, but like let's say okay, I want to spy check here. Like it's literally just like, boom. You can kind of internalize the timing of it. Like you don't even really need to be watching it as much. It's just like. If you realize where you're gonna be aiming for it, it makes it a lot easier than if you're just like wildly flailing around trying to like be fancy with it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, what I'd suggest, like, when you're dealing with that spy down first, just going like, you have heals, boom, their spy, like, can't escape, you're literally just out positioning him there. It's like, okay, instead of chasing him for a while, it's like, you're doing a bit more of a risky, like, fast-paced chase using the detonator to enhance your mobility, but you're not chasing him for as long, so overall it's like a lot less of a bait on your team. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was running towards him so hard. I knew it was a misplay, but I really fucking because he was just
You're like
reckless
RD&D
the whole
player.
game. I just need to kill him.
If your medic's playing close, yeah, you never want to have to leave him around here, or else demos one are just gonna walk in and roll people around here. But
yeah, I did it, and I was like, this is objectively horrible, but I just really need. My mental is so bad right now. Like, I just need to kill this person.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Any questions? Anything like that?
What was I thinking of? What do you think about? Well, I guess I'm asking you because it's probably well. Do you think type of like if you were to not be able to use a detonator and it was just and you were just doing shotgun? If you're using stock, do you think that shotgun? What do you think about shotgun versus panic attack if you're using stock? I guess.
I've never really experimented with panic attack, but what I generally say is like
you think
just
it's bad?
I would just generally say use degreaser and shotgun at that point, just for like quick combos and consistency. Honestly, I've never really experimented with it, but it's like I think you're going for like more sustainability there. I think the panic attack rewards like burst, and it's like the detonator is so much more of a burst tool there because you're really like launching yourself in to like deal with people there.
Yeah.
60%.
When I started playing, I always thought that the what was it? I thought that the panic attack was bad.
That's fair.
And then I was like, and then my last mentor was like, you should just run flamethrower panic attack like all the time or whatever. I started using it. It was like fine, but I just don't know.
I'm not sure about it. Like, I think what you're really doing, like. I think what you're really doing there is just doing a lot of combo work, right? Like, and it's like you get way faster with degreaser panic shotgun if you're going for that. It's like 90%, like from going from the degreaser to panic attack, and then like 60% going back to it. I think. No, it's just a lot faster to play. I've never actually really used degreaser, but it's just like. I don't know, like, I think you're just switching back and forth a lot, like, while you're trying to work with your shotgun there, right? Like, you're shotgunning, reflecting, like, a pill or, like, a rocket, and then going back to it. It's like, you really want, like, a combo there. And I think, kind of going along with that combo, you're going for a lot more consistency. And I think shotgun's a lot better for consistency, more accuracy, more predictable damage. And it's like, I don't think you're really trying to close the gap as much with something like the panic. Like, detonator is always going to be the better tool for closing the gap. I think it's like more of like a mid-range brawling option. Yeah, like we're focusing on just reflecting, denying spam while getting some shotguns in. I just don't think it's as consistent to run the stock panic attack there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I think
I'll probably do a lot more detonator. I'll try it.
Yeah.
Try it more. Because it's like I used to run shotgun degreaser only, and it's not that big. It's not that much of a difference, to be honest. From like stock panic attack, so maybe it's just better to go stock detonator.
There's definitely cases where like having a shotgun is nice. That like, let's say if you're struggling a lot with bombers, you can just chip them down, or like you really just need high single target focus. But it's like a lot of what really makes Pyro unique in a more aggressive sense is just having a ton of momentum ability and being able to just abuse that, like especially during exchanges, like being able to target down multiple people and causing a ton of chaos rather than just single target focusing.
Yeah.
Usually something like heavy is going to be way better than Pyro, just like single targeting. Yep, especially. I don't know. It depends on your own playstyle, definitely, though, but I guess just like experiment with like panic attack stock if you want. I just almost never find myself switching off detonator, so I've honestly never really like tried it for myself, but whatever feels better for you, I'd say.
Okay.
Just there's never a bad time to run detonator. There is a bad time to run literally any other secondary, like if you're not actively using it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the main dynamic I would say there. It's just being able to spy check more, enhance Pyro's role with that, especially if you want to be more aggressive while using it. Like, it's just so invaluable. Also, like, the Uber Exchange maneuverability compared to just being able to single target focus better. But, like, if you're really struggling with denial, you know you're going to need to play more passive, then I think Degreaser shotgun or panic attack stock is going to be more valuable for you there. Like if you have to adopt a more passive role, because it's like you don't really have the like free reign to just use the detonator to its true potential. Yeah, it's like you're probably struggling a lot with denial, though, and you really just need consistency against like bombers, heavies, singular targets, whatever you're struggling with on combo. Yeah, just being able to focus single targets down. I think that's definitely a case where you'd want to switch to that loadout set instead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But then if you're like finding yourself like running mobile, like not getting pressured that hard, I'd say it's usually just like a lot more versatile even to run detonator stock, yeah. And then if you do like degreaser detonator, you're literally just like baiting your team so hard because your main focus at that point becomes just spamming detonator, switching back over and over again, and you want to be staying on detonator to be able to detonate it. It's just like, I don't know. You become so over-focused on spamming.
If I'm going to use degreaser, I think I'd rather use flare gun.
Yeah, literally. It's just like it just doesn't synergize. I don't know, unless you're specifically trying to do like extinguisher degreaser combos or something. But like that's so baity, man.
I don't think extinguisher. It doesn't seem very viable. Probably. Especially after the nerf. I got nerfed or whatever a long time ago.
Alright, I think we'll end the recording there. Unless you have any more questions.
We think. Was there anything else? No.
Oh, one quick thing. Let me just get to last. Alright, so if an enemy team uses on the flank, what I prefer to do rather than just like staying down here is I'll just like detonate up to here. You can, that's not really that good of a jump, whatever. But like, what happens is like, thank you game. And then it's like you just shove them back and they can't really go through this way either. It kind of like pigeonholes them to just be standing further back and they physically can't get any spam off, whereas even if you're like playing close here, it's just like you can kind of get, like, they can kind of get some damage off, they can get some kills. But then if you go forward here, you like, they use on the flank, you counter use, you can get beamed from below here, you can, like, go about to here-ish. You can go back, get beamed again if you need to, like, for another Uber flash. And it's just like, by doing this, you just deny their entire Uber and you put them into a position where your demoman can just shoot this spot. Your demoman doesn't even need to be Ubered for this to work, because all he needs to do is just shoot this exact area while you're air blasting their entire team into one of these two directions. Then it's just like you have a person like just watching the flank, like your heavier so could be shooting towards here, or your demo man can, if you're not able to really, like if you're struggling with that a lot. But it's just like it prevents the team from basically having any play here. You know what I mean?
What do you think about sitting there, like just in general?
Not good.
Well, not good. Okay.
Yeah. No, you don't want to sit there. It's like the whole entire reason why that works is because it's just like, it's during the time when the enemy team is like trying to get so many things done. Like, you're doing it to deny something. If you're just doing this passively, like sitting up here, like, one, they're spiking getting a lot. Like, it's just like you're not really able to, you're just risking more than you're really doing.
Yeah, and you're kind of vulnerable.
Like, you honestly kind of want to bait them in if they are going to be pushing flank. Like, you're just not getting much done, and it's much better to have the cover here and not be losing health, because it's like you can just be doing this, be playing volleyball, basically, rather than just getting shot in the face by their heavy or whatever is over here on the flank. If they are pushing
but in general, I literally just want to be following the medic, like, wherever they are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
If they're called going flank, then, like, you go forward here, you go with your medic and demo, and then it's just, like, you play around here, and if they use, and, like, if they're called, like, using around here, so, or if you see them in this window, it is so good if you just detonate into them and air blast them back. They usually aren't taking on their pyro there, so it's like you can really abuse that fact, usually, and just get away with a lot there. If they go in from Red Room, like, if they're called Red Room, you go right here, their entire Uber does nothing. The rest of your team hopefully knows how to play the game and kill the unflashed enemies that aren't being supported by anything. If they go in main, you can, if you're using, you can just go forward, air blast them around here, get them tried and shoved out main or big door, and you just don't want them get like crossing to your high ground, being able to shoot any of your unflashed players, and then the rest of your players can be like just targeting down enemies basically because they don't have the support of an Uber, and you're using much less resources than them to deny their entire Uber basically there, yeah. You're just preventing them from being able to gain any space physically. But then, like, again, especially if you're taking beams with pyro though, like, just make sure the rest of your team is actually, like, being able to play off of it. Like, make sure your team is just playing around the fact that you are using a pyro, and it's really not that unheard of defense. It's rather conventional, just deny with pyro in those cases. But if you're, like, pushing third, something like that, yeah. Just make sure your team has players that can really support you, because if you're just trying to walk in as Pyro, especially against like a level gone second hill, you're not getting anything done there.
Yeah, I guess I should just like sometimes I see that and I'm just like, maybe I should just call like, hey, maybe we should wait for everyone to push along with me.
Also, another
just,
thing,
like,
if you're sacking, I feel like if it's called you're sacking, a really good thing you could do, like, just jump right over there, boom. You can shove people off, sometimes even to the death, although not really. It's usually you just shove them off hill, though the Kev gets separated from medic, or like if your team's going for an exchange afterwards or something. It's like just really effective if you land here, just kill the NG, kill the gun, kill whatever else you can, or just air blast them away for your bombers to do a ton of work.
Would that be a situation where you would not want to be Ubered, or like?
Yeah, no. If you're going in for a sack, usually it's just like you get your spy to sap gun, you detonate your jump. If it's like right around here, you can easily kill a ton of things like with the rest of your bombers. It's a lot more effective than just trying to waddle in from main tunnel or side tunnel as Pyro there. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But,
Yeah.
like,
So that's we're just trying to like get picks or whatever.
Yeah, basically, like, you're trying to get the gun especially, or get the medic force, maybe get sniper, but the main thing definitely NG gun and medic there. And that's something that's really fine to do 1 second, like that's one of the ways you can really win the point. It can be hard if you're not really getting any work done, but like, if your team's calling you're sacking, you should be committing a lot of things to it anyways there, because it's like otherwise your sacked players are just kind of dying going in for nothing. You're not really going for a push anyways after you lose like all those players on the sacks. It's like just commit a lot of things to it. Have like one player like a scatter NG or something, just walk your medic out. Use a Pyro really good for the second sack there though, yeah. Because of this specific angle. And that's like your soldier heavy, whatever other classes demo man can be going in from other angle, you just make it a lot more effective, yeah. But something that worked really well in Season 4 Advanced Quarterfinals versus Somebody Help, yeah. Really was easy to kill the engine gun when I got sapped there for the sack. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will end the recording then.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.